Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just Saying, episode 30, recording on June 3rd, 2025,
Halfway through the
almost
year.
to summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And real quickly, Shay's going to break it all down for you, but just a quick mention, happy Pride Month, June. Uh, all of us at Just Saying are here for equality for everybody, and it's well timed because I'm participating in a local event in our community called Hunks and Heels,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very fantastic get together. I think Shay's gone every single year.
Yep. Every year, performed last year. They get 10 hunks, 10 men from our community to the premise is basically getting somebody else's shoes and which are heels and go up on stage and lip sync to a song and dance and just have a really good time.
Exactly, it's a really good time. I will be participating in this year's edition of Hunks and Heels.
I will be judging.
He will be the judge.
I won
he
last
actually
year.
won all of it last year, performing Freddie Mercury's or Queen's song.
Don't stop
Don't
me
stop
now.
me now. That's right. So I will be performing this year, and if I get into the top three, the plan next year is to have an All Stars event of Hunks and Heels, where the top three from the last 4 years will compete.
Mm-hmm.
So really excited. I'm competitive, so I'm going to try, obviously, to win it all. But it's going to be a great time. It's for a very good cause. And quick shout out to the charity Spread Spencer's Sparkle. Our friend gave us permission to share that, so thank you very much. And sorry for the phone notification. And there will be a link in the description to the website. You want to go check it out, make a donation. They donate to all kinds of local charities and programs in our community, including the schools and all that. So thank you very much, Spread Spencer's Sparkle. Again, happy Pride Month to everybody.
Yeah, happy Pride Month. Quick disclaimer, my voice is a little shoddy for this recording. Did a work event this morning and was yelling and screaming, having a lot of fun. So forgive me if I may be hard to understand halfway through the episode or towards the end. But I'm going to power through here and do my absolute best. So, as Jared said, happy Pride Month. Today, we're going to talk about something we have not talked about on this podcast ever. That is Stranger Things. We are going to look at the brand new, just dropped Stranger Things Season 5 trailer, the final season. Whew, and oh boy, does it look awesome. Then we have some sports news following up after that, as per usual. Then the weekly NASCAR roundup, because we were at Nashville this past weekend. And then finally, the NHL and NBA conference finals wrapped up, and the finals are set for both leagues. And I'm pretty excited for both.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a fantastic time in sports. Sad that it's going to be over very soon, but these two finals matchups, especially, are I think are going to be some of the best that we have seen in a while.
Very well could be.
So let's get right into it. Starting off,
Copyright.
Stranger Things season 5, and it has been a long time coming. Most of the actors that are in Stranger Things, they started filming this way back when they were kids, and now they're grown adults. That's how long it's been. It's going to be 3 years, over 3 years since we've gotten season 4.
Yep.
And with the Duffer Brothers, it's going to be well worth the wait, I am sure.
Yeah, I agree. In between that time, we had the strikes in Hollywood that for sure delayed some things. But they also came out and said that the episodes are going to be movie length, which only makes me even more excited. So it's here, officially coming out Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve, volumes 1, 2, and 3. So I'm excited. especially if they're very long episodes. So that means we have a lot to see and a lot of story to get through. And then it's over. And I don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah, so same here. I cannot wait, but I can wait because this has been one of the best shows that I have ever seen. Going back to when I was in high school,
Yep.
it has really been that long. But getting to the trailer, um, not much in terms of what they showed for season 5. Basically, just an entire recap of the major events of seasons 1 through 4, which I thought was really, really good. Just kept most of it basically encrypted and like, all right, you just gotta wait until the season drops or they drop a new trailer. Uh, the few images that we saw of season 5, though, yeah,
Yeah, they while this is all happening, Will's mom is having dialogue over everything. So that's really the main point. Her dialogue is new, and I'm sure we'll see that in one of the episodes when it comes out. But as you said, it's just the moments and flashes of moments over the last 4 seasons. Um, Recapping some things. It was really just a teaser trailer, if anything. It didn't show much at all. But towards the end, it started to show some things that we might see, and how it ends with Will screaming. Oh my god, that's like pure terror. First of all, phenomenal acting. Second of all, pure terror. So that has me scared because I don't know what to expect. And I kind of have a little bit of a theory that because this is the final season, I think it's going to be great and the finale is going to be fantastic, but I don't think it's going to be a good finale, like not in a good way. Like it's going to, I think we might see some fan favorites die here.
yeah. My prediction is that for sure, I think 11 and Will are going to pass away because if they want to, wrap this whole thing up and defeat Vecna and close out the Upside Down, like all links to that realm probably have to be eliminated as well. So that's really all I have, and I really am hoping and I believe that Eddie is still alive.
Yeah. I mean, that's really not much else to say. As we get probably another trailer soon, we'll of course react to that, which will probably show some more. And then when the episodes come out and when we end up watching them, you bet your asses we're gonna be talking about them. So can't wait. Let us know what you guys thought of the trailer down in the comments. We want to hear from you.
And if you have never watched Stranger Things,
Go watch it.
go watch it. You got plenty of time.
Go watch it.
We did get the release dates. There's going to be 3 parts to season 5. First phase is going to be Thanksgiving, then Christmas, and then the finale is going to take place on New Year's Eve.
That's right. So very exciting. I like how they're rolling it out too. They're on, especially on Thanksgiving and Christmas, where days where most people are going to be off and with family. Why not spend the time watching Stranger Things? So I think it's pretty smart of how they're releasing it.
I think so as well, and to make the finale like just its own thing,
Yeah,
is great.
New Year's Eve, the end of the year, the end of the show. Oof.
Yeah, that was pretty smart for sure. But yeah, that's the Stranger Things season 5 trailer. Again, let us know what you think down in the comments. Now we're gonna move on to sports news from around the world.
I think this episode, it's just in the US here. Sorry everybody.
Around the US.
Sorry everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Madden NFL history. Yeah, we're talking about video games here. An Eagles offensive player is on the cover and is in the 99 club. You know who that player is?
I don't know.
Just Mr. Reverse Hurdle himself, Saquon Barkley.
Hey, listen. a Jaguars player finally got on the cover. Let's go.
That's right, people. Saquon is on the Madden cover. It looks great. His hurdle looks great. Unfortunately, though, that means I now have to buy Madden, which I have not done in about 3 years because the game sucks. But hey, Saquon's on it. I'll be buying a hard copy, which is going to be the first hard copy PlayStation game that I will buy. Interesting. So yeah, I think it's awesome. Congrats to Saquon, especially being part of the 99 club. And even though I don't expect any different from Madden this year, I'm still going to play it to at least experience Saquon Barkley is 99 overall.
Yeah, and for that Jaguars player, congrats on also being on the cover. Probably not in the way that you probably would want to.
Yeah,
And they had to reenact it again for the photo.
that's right.
So that was pretty funny. All right, another video game regarding football that's coming out soon is College Football 26. We watched the trailer for that as well. This is going to be the game that gets me to buy a PS5 because I did not play College Football 25, and EA is a really bad company and didn't release it on PC and made it cross-platform. So unfortunately for my wallet, that means I have to go out and buy a PS5 just to play college football.
And Rivals Ranked.
That's right.
Yeah, the college football trailer, looks great.
It did get me so hyped.
Yeah,
it just made me want to go get it even more.
A trailer designed to do that for sure, with Metallica's Sandman playing through the whole thing, thanks to Virginia Tech. I am someone who played a lot of College Football 25. So much better than Madden, even though it was a little bare bones. Like, it just kept me coming back. This new trailer, though, shows some improvements for sure. A lot more music, a lot more tradition, a lot more mascots, a lot of different like presentation options, like starting games and everything, and pre-games and post-game. And the gameplay that showed so far just a little bit looked great. I'm excited to see what the changes to Dynasty mode will be and Road to Glory will be. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be even better than College Football 25 last year. I'm pretty confident it's going to be even better than Madden 26. So I can't wait. If Jarris does get his PS5, can't wait to play together and do a dynasty mode together where we're have a team in the same conference and get to play a whole season of college football. Like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Cannot wait. And maybe that also notes to future, gaming streams on the YouTube channel.
That's right.
Streaming sports games and maybe some ranked rivals.
That's right.
So maybe some future plans in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little bit of video game discussion on this podcast. Can't wait.
July 10th. July 10th.
Yeah, can't wait for college football for sure. All right, moving on. The college football seeding has changed for next year's
for the playoffs.
College football playoffs. Straight from ESPN, I'm reading from an article by Heather Dinich. The 12-team college football playoff will move to a straight seeding model this fall, rewarding the selection committee's top 4 teams with the top 4 seeds and a first-round bye. The 10 FBS commissioners and Notre Dame athletic director, Pete Bavacca, who constitutes the CFP's management committee, reached the unanimous agreement necessary to make the change. And he says, to quote, "We all have a responsibility to serve our constituents while also being mindful as to what's best for college football." This is from ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips from ESPN. "Today's decision was done in the best interest of the sport. It may not always benefit the ACC, but it was the right decision, and that's a responsibility I take very seriously."
Yeah, I think it's a smart move. They're doing a change here. The playoff expansion that happened last year was awesome. But it did leave to some weird matchups. So I think this is a good move for this season coming up. If this happened last year, then like Penn State would have had a first round bye, Ohio State would have had a first round bye. So stuff like that. So the matchups would have been a little maybe I don't want to say better necessarily, but would have made a little more sense. So I'm a fan of it. I'm excited to see how it plays out though this season and what wrinkles or problems might arise from that too, because there's always drama in the college football playoffs, people being left out. But I think it's a good move. They had to change something. They had to.
Yeah, all top seeds were out within the first round
Yeah.
last year in the college football playoffs, and for Notre Dame, they were independent, so the highest seed they could earn was the 5th seed.
Correct.
So now they will be eligible to get a first round bye if they are ranked in the top 4.
Correct. Yeah. As long as we still have the home games in the first round, though, I am still there.
Yeah. Moving on, real quick. Josh Allen officially married Haley Steinfeld. Match made in heaven.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Just so happy.
And
perfect couple.
And also associated with Haley Steinfeld, we will be watching Sinners soon.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for that. We didn't get to watch it in theaters, but it came out on Peacock. So we'll be watching that. Moving on, the 49ers trade for Eagles defensive end Bryce Huff. Shay, what is this impact?
Yeah, the Niners traded him for him. They gave us a mid-round pick in next year's draft. So I think it saves us up some cap space, which is good. And also it gives us probably some more draft capital, which we all know we have plenty of that. So I think it's a good trade, and I think our D line is still plenty fine enough that we could have shed one or two guys this year, like we ended up doing now with Bryce Huff also leaving behind Mekhi Becton. So I think it's great move, and in Howie we trust.
That's right. It's not like a huge loss,
no,
or anything. So, yeah. All right, moving on. The Steelers were in the process of trading for Dolphins tight end Jonnu Smith, but now reports come out that is now not likely. But for the Dolphins, they continue to put out some players in their core. They still haven't traded cornerback Jalen Ramsey after they mutually agreed that it'd be best if they part ways.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. So for the Dolphins, they continue to dangle out members of their core, and who knows if they're going to be in contention for next season.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens there. Legendary Viking, sad news out of Minnesota today. Legendary Viking and Purple People Eaters member, defensive line Jim Marshall, sadly passed away at age 87. He had a 20-year-long career and made 270 consecutive starts.
Yeah, absolute legend with the Purple People Eaters, and you'll be very missed. And thank you for your contributions to the game of football.
That's right. Moving on, Ohtani, is he getting closer to pitching, Shay?
He might be. He just tossed 29 balls in his bullpen session a few days ago. The Dodgers their social media team keeps posting cryptic pictures of him pitching and throwing the ball. So I think we're starting to get close to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets added to the rotation within probably the next 3 to 4 weeks. The Dodgers pitching staff is the most injured in all of baseball. I think of their injured list, 9 out of 10 are pitchers. So they need Ohtani to come back, even though they're still in first place.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the crazy thing is for Ohtani, he still doesn't really need to be the main guy.
No.
Because the Dodgers just have aces up their sleeve when it comes to the bullpen.
And right now, him and Aaron Judge are once again on a tear through almost the first half of the year. And this could be the first time if it continues like this could be the first time ever we've had back-to-back MVPs in both leagues 2 years in a row, which would be wild. And now moving on to the PWHL. The season is over. The Minnesota Frost are back-to-back champions.
That's right. Go Frost, baby, but mid-name.
Yeah, get a better name. But that means a new season. And that means 2 new teams this year, as we discussed before, Seattle and Vancouver. So the PWHL expansion draft is June 9th. Each team gets to protect 3 players. Seattle and Vancouver get to sign a max of 5 players in free agency, which is the 4th through the 8th. Either free agencies or or unprotected players. Then the 2 teams will select a minimum of 7 players each from the rest of the teams in the PWHL. After 2 players are selected from a minimum of 7 players each from the rest of the teams in the PWHL. Oh wait, I just read that twice.
Yeah, it's complicated. So after 2 players are selected from a single team, either in free agency signed or the expansion draft,
correct,
then the teams can protect 1 additional player on the roster. This will continue until both teams have 12-player rosters, which is a full roster. And then the PWHL entry draft is June 24th in Ottawa.
Yeah. So just like in other leagues, like the most recently the NHL with Vegas and Seattle, they get to pull players from other teams from around the league, so they can have a team of their own, obviously. And then those teams still get to protect some players so they don't lose their star players or the players they deem most valuable. So Vancouver and Seattle will start plucking people from the rest of the league and build out their team, especially come draft time when they draft their own players.
That's right. So for our teams, the Minnesota Frost have protected their captain, Kendall Coyne Schofield, defenseman Lee Stecklin, and forward Taylor Heisey. The Boston Fleet protect goalie Aaron Frankel,
perfect,
defenseman Megan Keller, and forward Alina Moeller, who they drafted last year, I think 2nd overall.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Hillary Knight was left unprotected. She is 36 years of age, so she is getting up there. But that is an interesting move for the Fleet. But you only get to protect 3 players. So
yeah, I was a little shocked when I saw this because I just saw it a couple hours ago on Facebook that they didn't protect Knight. But I think it makes sense to protect the younger players and especially Frankel, who the league's not that big, but I would still argue one of the better goaltenders in the league. And
for sure.
I bet that the front office for the Fleet are probably wanting to just get through the round of them losing players. And then if Hillary Knight's still there, they'll protect her. That's my guess here.
Yeah. So look out for that. We will be obviously talking about that, in the next coming weeks on the podcast. But yeah, Seattle and Vancouver, you're about to know who's on your team.
We still don't know your names though.
Yeah. Hopefully they're A names, not mid.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm so excited for next season. Frost, time to go 3-peat. Back to back to back.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We'll see.
It's probably just as hard, even though there's only going to be 8 teams for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always hard to win consecutive championships.
Yeah. Agreed. Moving on to NASCAR here before we get to our break. We were in Nashville this past weekend, and Ryan Blaney ended up winning Nashville. I was not able to watch the race. I had to work 6 days in a row. So
hey, good for him. He's
no
had
for me.
A pretty tough start to the season, I would say. A lot of DNFs.
Still leads the season.
Field in DNFs. So good for him on getting a win. He has his playoff spot locked up.
That's right. Now there's 9 different race winners this year. That means 9 of the 16 playoff spots are locked in. So the first year that they moved to this playoff format, come playoff time, the final race of the regular season, 14 of the 16 playoff spots were locked up because of 14 different winners. That was one of the craziest NASCAR regular seasons there has ever been. So
right
is
now
this
we
year
are on pace.
Yeah.
We're
Will we see
ahead
a
of
similar
pace.
year this year?
Yeah.
Or could we see the year where all 16 spots are locked up and
If
we
there's
get a
more than
17th
16,
winner? Yeah.
Yeah, if there's one win and
Then
they
it
lose
comes
in the
down to
tiebreaker,
points. It's going to be
that would be crazy.
yeah. I think this NASCAR season has been exciting, just like the last few. I could definitely see there being 14 winners, maybe even 16. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Next week, we are at the Firekeepers Casino 400 at Michigan Speedway. And after that, people, NASCAR is making their first international trip since 1992 and racing in Mexico City.
Oh, that's right. That's exciting. Yeah. It's really cool to see that NASCAR with the new media deals that they've had, and now that they're, they had the in-city race in Chicago, right?
Yep, the street racing.
Yeah. It really does feel like NASCAR is finally starting to maybe gain some traction back. Which is great.
I agree.
That's really good to see.
And the not Nashville, but the week prior at Charlotte, the first ever NASCAR race on Amazon Prime Video, I loved it. The whole broadcast was fantastic, full of energy. No commercial breaks. They just did the split screen when they did have commercials, where they would show commercials on one screen and then the other screen still had the race. So you never missed a single part of the race. And Dale Jr. is one of my favorite color commentators because it's Dale Jr. So love the Amazon package and how they are, providing us the coverage of NASCAR. And NASCAR is hitting the right cylinders right now. They are moving forward, and I think I agree with you. They're getting back some traction that they may have lost over the last 10 to 15 years, and especially moving into new markets like the Chicago Street Race and now Mexico City. Yeah, they're doing everything right.
Yeah, really exciting. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take our break after all of that. When we come back, though, it's playoff time again. And we got some finals to preview. So it's coming down to the end, folks. And
That's right.
After that, it'll still be exciting because we'll focus completely on baseball.
Yeah, pretty much. And just the off-season drama going on throughout the other three major sports.
Yeah, so thank you for listening up to this point. Don't go anywhere. You need to pee, refill your drink, get some snacks. Go ahead and do that. And we will see you back here very soon.
And welcome back from that very, very brief break. We're going to dive right in to the National Hockey League. The playoffs, well, folks, they're almost over. The conference finals are done with, and now it is time for the finals. But before we talk about the finals, we have to finish and wrap up the conference finals. So, starting in the East, the Florida Panthers. I mean, I saw it from a mile away. Pretty sure most people did too. Now, I think both of our regular season brackets are correct, at least finished correct. Florida Panthers, they finished off the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 5, winning 5-3. The Canes had a 2-0 lead in the second period when Florida scored twice in 30 seconds to tie and just had an answer every single time. Florida did win the series 4-1, and this time they do not touch the Prince of Wales trophy.
2 years in a row.
Canes, they did finally break their curse, their streak of losing consecutive games in the conference finals.
Only took 15 tries.
Only took 15 tries. So, hey, you know what? That's a win, Canes fans.
Raise the banner. One conference finals game.
That's a win. So the Canes do have plenty of cap space to improve their roster. Kind of similar story to last year. Who do they go out and at? What's their plan?
Yeah. So first off, congrats to the Florida Panthers. They advanced to their third consecutive Stanley Cup final
Yep.
after losing to Vegas in 2023, winning the cup in 2024, almost blowing the 3-0 lead.
Yep.
Probably won't happen this time. They didn't touch the Prince of Wales trophy just like they did last year when they won the cup. So again, congrats to the Panthers. Florida hockey is dominant right now.
Yep.
6 straight years of a team in Florida advancing to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
I'm sure the rest of the Eastern Conference is very happy about that. Yeah, so the Hurricanes, again, very disappointing playoff exit. I don't think their coach Rod Brindamore's seat is necessarily hot, but there's definitely going to be some questions that they need to answer during the offseason. Now, plenty of Canes fans said, this year it's not our time. We tried to swing for the fences and trade for Mikko Rantanen. He didn't want to be there.
Yeah. True.
So, hey, it just didn't work out. They do have a lot of cap space, over $28 million with the cap going up.
That's a lot.
There are some big free agents on the market, which we will get into within the next couple weeks. But first one that comes to mind is Mitch Marner. 100-point producer, great defensively. As long as he's able to keep his offensive skills in Brindamore's system, I think the Canes should definitely swing for a big-time scoring free agent.
Yeah, especially if they have that cap space.
Yeah, so they are going to be a very interesting team to watch, and they don't have any other notable free agents to sign. So they could do some serious damage next year. So it'll be very interesting to see the position the Canes are in. But congrats to the Florida Panthers, and for the Canes, we'll see what happens next year.
Yep.
Another team that obviously advanced to the Stanley Cup final. We have the rematch, everyone. The Edmonton Oilers win Game 4 4-1, and Game 5 6-3 against the Dallas Stars to win the series 4-1. Stars coach Pete DeBoer pulls goalie Jake Onger after allowing 2 goals on 2 shots. And in the ensuing end of game presser, he kind of throws him under the bus.
That's not good.
That he said got outdueled by Stuart Skinner 2 years in a row. Onger came out and said he doesn't have any ill feelings or anything. A lot of speculation that they were going to fire Pete DeBoer after those comments. It looks like he's staying in Dallas, at least for next year. But this means that the Dallas Stars have now lost 3 straight Western Conference finals. Last 2 against Edmonton, then the year before against Vegas. The Oilers do touch the Campbell Bowl after not touching it last year and losing in the Stanley Cup final.
Trying to break that superstition.
Yeah, so that's a big superstition, hockey touching or not touching the conference championship trophy. Now this leaves a very important question. How can Dallas make additions to get over the hump with having so little cap space? They only have a little over $5 million in cap space. And unlike the Canes, their free agent list is pretty substantial.
Yeah, so it seems no matter what,
make some hard decisions.
Yeah, no matter what, they're going to have to make hard decisions and make some moves. Even with the cap going up, they still just have very little space. So may not be a fun time in Dallas or this offseason.
Yeah, a lot of trade rumors going around right now. A lot of speculation. So we'll see what Dallas does. I would trust in Jim Neal to get it done for Dallas. He's been really great for them over the last few years. But yeah, that means we have our rematch. The Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers will face off again in the Stanley Cup final. The first time we've had a rematch since 08-09 with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings.
That's right. And like I said, Jarris and I's bracket video from earlier this season, we were right.
Yeah, that was the before season.
Correct.
For the playoffs, we're going to quickly look at the stat leaders and maybe give our picks for the Conn Smythe, which is the playoff MVP trophy. So leading in points, no surprise. Just take a wild guess at who's leading the playoff in points, Shay. I think
Brad Marchand?
no, but he's been very good.
Yes, yeah.
No, obviously, it's Yanni Gordon. No, it's Connor McDavid.
What?
No surprise.
He's leading?
Leading the playoffs in points with 26.
Holy
Behind him,
shit, that came out of left field.
right behind him, Leon Draisaitl
He's in second?
of the Oilers, both from the Oilers. All the way in fifth, but only talking about teams that are still in the playoffs. Alexander Barkov, captain of the Panthers, leads them in points with 17, and then Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk are tied at 16 points.
Yeah.
And Bobrovsky's been really good for them in net.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Stuart Skinner on the other side for the Oilers.
Who has absolutely rebounded.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he can continue.
Yeah.
And then for goals, Sam Bennett actually leads the field in goals with 10. Didn't really see that coming.
No.
Leon Draisaitl is fourth with 7 goals. Connor McDavid actually only has 6 goals and is well off pace of last year's playoffs where he had 42 points.
Yeah.
Corey Perry for the Oilers is in fourth, bottom 6 forward, who's been playing on the top line these playoffs with 7 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some for you. So yeah, with all these stats, if the Oilers win the cup, who do you think gets playoff MVP?
Well, I mean, it depends on how they play in the finals too, but
yeah,
just without the finals, since obviously we don't know what's going to happen, without the finals, I'm going to give it, or I would, if I had the power, I would give it to Draisaitl. I think he's arguably top 3 player in the league, only behind McDavid. And him paired with McDavid is, come on.
The best 1-2 punch down the middle.
Come on. So they're able to feed off of each other so well, and both of them are able to, score or just get all these assists or whatever. So I'm going to give it to Draisaitl. He's had a great playoff run this year too. So unless McDavid carries Edmonton on his back in the finals, kind of like he did last year towards the end, right now I'd give it to Leon Draisaitl.
Now, before I ask you your pick for the Panthers, Bobrovsky, I should say, has a goals against per game of 2.11 and a save percentage of 0.912.
Yeah.
So with that being said, with Barkov leading his team in points with 17, but Sam Bennett has 16 points and leads the field in goals. Who do you think, if the Panthers win the final, who do you think wins the Conn Smythe?
Again, without knowing what's going to happen in the finals, if it was Florida, I think it would probably be Barkov, I would say, all around. He obviously doesn't have the same amount of goals as Bennett, but he's able to get his points in other ways with assists and so on. So I would give it to Barkov.
And is one of the best defensive players in the game.
Right.
Actually won the Selke as well.
Yeah, so I would give it to Barkov.
Yeah, I would say the same. Same answers that you would probably. Bobrovsky's been great. I don't think he's been as good as he was last year.
Yeah.
Up until Game 4 when they lost 3 straight.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I give the Conn Smythe to him. So yeah, I'd probably give it to Barkov for the Panthers. And for the Oilers, probably now Draisaitl, but I think either way, McDavid or Draisaitl probably wins the Conn Smythe.
I hope it's McDavid, because he just needs to get the monkey off his back, where he'll never win a cup and finals MVP or anything or playoff MVP, or anything like that. I hope it's McDavid, but like I said, I think right now it's Draisaitl.
Yeah. So for the finals, these are 2 teams that play very different styles of hockey. I think Oilers, very high flying, very offensive style of game. Panthers are the same way, and they play super physical.
Very physical.
They can shut you down once they have the lead. So it's going to be very interesting, and there is some key differences here that I want to go over. So in terms of goals per game, Oilers right now are rolling at 4.06 goals for per game. They lead the playoffs in terms of that category.
Mhm.
The Panthers are in third, though, not far behind at 3.88 goals for per game. For goals against per game, Florida actually leads the field at 2.29 goals per game. Edmonton, a little bit further behind in that category, 2.81 goals per game. Edmonton Oilers have only lost 4 games so far in these playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is very impressive. They took out the Kings in 6. Then they pushed aside Vegas and Dallas in 5.
Yeah, exactly.
For Florida, they pushed aside the Lightning in 5. Toronto gave them the most difficulty going all the way to Game 7. But then in the conference final, right back in it, pushed aside the Canes in 5. So have the Oilers had an easier path to the final? No. That narrative is not valid. So let's see. I will edit this. Yeah. All right. So more stats in terms of special teams. The power play. Edmonton's clicking right now at 30%. Florida is clicking at a 23.2%. The penalty kill is actually very interesting, though. Florida leads the field right now with an 87.9%. And Edmonton, after having one of the best penalty kills last year in the playoffs that we had seen in history, they're actually really bad this year in the penalty kill, 66%.
Yeah, not good.
So the key for Edmonton in this series, I think, is going to be to stay out of the box.
Yeah, I would agree.
And goaltending, Stuart Skinner, you can say that is worse than Bobrovsky, but he's shown over his last few starts that he can perform when it matters.
Yeah.
So I think the goaltending is a lot closer than people would think. And I think for Edmonton and Florida, it's going to come down to just a couple things. Special teams, Edmonton has to stay out of the box. Florida, keep rolling with that penalty kill. Edmonton, it's going to be difficult for them to score on the power play, so they're going to need to break through that. Transition play, Edmonton is very dangerous in transition, getting those odd man rushes.
Yeah.
They're going to need to create the space necessary. Florida likes to forecheck very aggressively, so they're going to need to figure that out as well. And I think these teams, just like last year, even though Florida took the 3-0 series lead and it looked ugly at first, I still think these teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah, I would agree.
So with that being said, Shay, who do you think takes home the Stanley Cup and in how many games?
I am going all the way back to our regular season hockey video, our standings video. And McJesus is going to get it done. The Oilers are going to win, people. I don't think they let themselves lose to the Panthers twice in the finals. I just can't see it happening. The Oilers are going to win, but I think it's going to go to 7 again.
All right.
Which would be awesome.
I want to be different. Don't get me wrong. And I know there's the whole narrative of, the Canadian team hasn't won the Cup final since 1993.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if anybody can do it, and who I would want to do it, it's McDavid.
Yeah, I agree.
He's been the best player in the league for years now. He has not had the supporting cast around him in Edmonton for years now. And these last couple years, I think it's his time.
Yeah, this is the window.
Not just for him, but for Canada. I think it would be fantastic if a Canadian team won a Stanley Cup. I think the narrative's kind of tiring at this point. And even though American teams win the Stanley Cup, 80% of their roster is Canadian
Yeah.
still. So I don't think the storyline's valid.
Yeah, and the cup still goes back to Canada in the off season. So
Exactly. So I don't think that matters. Rematches, interestingly, throughout history, 7-4 when a team rematches in the Stanley Cup final. So I'm gonna go with you. I don't think the Oilers let it happen again. And actually, I think they have home ice advantage, by the way, so that's very important.
Mhm.
I think they're going to come out aggressive. I think they're going to make a statement. I could see them taking the first 2 games in Edmonton, going back to Florida. I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup, and I'm going to say they're going to win it in 6 games. I don't think they could sweep the Panthers or win it in 5. I think the Panthers are that good,
for sure.
but I could see the Oilers not allowing a game 7, and I think they'll get it done in 6.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly reasonable to think that, especially if they have home ice advantage. Remember, this is the longest distance between 2 teams in 2 cities in Stanley Cup final history, and we got it back-to-back years. So
2,541 miles.
I'm just glad I'm not on that plane ride.
Yeah, me neither. So, yeah, it's going to be fantastic. A rematch after Game 7 loss, 2-1, and almost having one of the greatest comebacks in NHL history.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great, and the storylines in the final are going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and it officially starts when?
Tomorrow is
As
the
of this
first
recording.
game, June 4th, I believe at 8:00 p.m. Let me just double check.
On TNT this year.
Yep, tomorrow, game 1, 8 p.m., June 4th. So I'm ready. We're going to be trying, at least for me, because I have more time, I'm going to try to watch every single game of the final in its entirety so we can give you a detailed review of the games and really break it down since it is the finals. So we want to go a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
And we're excited. But we're going to move on because we have another sport that is in the finals, and that is basketball.
That's right. OKC! Oklahoma City Thunder finished off the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5 in a blowout, 124-94, and they won the series 4-1. Is Anthony Edwards really him? I think he still is. SGA named Western Conference Final MVP, and the Thunder advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012, back when it was that trio everybody loved: Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook against LeBron and the Heat. I mean, congrats OKC, one of the youngest teams in the association, and marched their way right up into the finals. I am color me impressed. I am very impressed with what this team has done and been able to do, and just the fact that they got to the finals, especially with ease, kind of. Look out! It's going to be
It's been very
scary.
impressive to watch.
Yeah, going to be scary.
Sure. The only team that really gave them difficulty was the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they play in the first round? I forgot.
The Lakers.
Oh yeah, they won against the Lakers, I think, in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they got there, beat the Lakers in 5. A little bit of a tougher time against the Nuggets in 7, but then went right back and smacked around the Wolves in 5. So yeah, they have really impressed. SGA has just came into his own this year. MVP, conference finals MVP. Can he do what few players have done and win MVP, conference finals MVP, finals MVP, and the championship all in the same year?
I mean,
that would be historic.
If any year, it's this year for sure.
Yeah. So the Thunder advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012, back when Durant, Harden, and Westbrook
you just repeated what I
against
said.
LeBron and the Heat. Oh, well, just roll with it. Yeah. So for OKC, just Wow. It's been fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
Not just SGA, but guys like Alex Caruso, Chet Holmgren, and every other person on the roster has also contributed. So yeah, the team that they're versing though is no slouch.
Nope.
And they are not overrated.
Agreed.
The Indiana Pacers in the conference final first took game 4 against the Knicks, 130 to 121. But the Knicks would fight back in game 5, winning 111 to 94. However, Indiana finishes the job with a game 6 victory, 125 to 108, and wins the series 4-2. Pascal Siakam, named Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Indiana now faces the Thunder in the NBA Finals. It's their first since 2000, way back when, with Reggie Miller against the Lakers and Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, I think this is another surprise, especially coming out of the East when it was just the Celtics all year long, and then Tatum and Brown are injured in the semifinals against the Knicks, and I didn't expect Indiana to come out and make it to the finals. That's for sure. Halliburton has, just like SGA, has really come into his own as well. He is a dog, and this finals matchup, especially with how young these teams are, these players are, this could be really, really exciting.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, something I read a few days ago, a lot of these players are assets from Paul George.
Yeah,
the Paul George trades.
Yeah,
which I found really interesting article to read for sure.
Yeah,
on both sides. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think these teams are a little bit more evenly matched than people would think. Yeah. So here we go with the little preview as well. The Pacers, in terms of points per game, actually are in second with 117.4, but OKC right behind them at 117.1.
Yeah.
For field goal percentage, Indiana leads the field with 49.7 from the field. OKC, though, 46.4, tied for second place. 3-point percentage, Indiana leads there as well, 40.1%. OKC is actually towards the bottom at 33.6%. So I think there's a key right there. If Indiana can get those shots from 3 and really clog up the middle and the post game, because SGA likes to drive a lot to the basket.
Yep.
That could be a key thing right there.
Yeah, agreed.
In terms of free throws, OKC 79.0%. But the Pacers lead them in that category too at 79.8%. So I think these teams are a little bit more evenly matched, like I said, than people, probably think. In terms of favorites, I'm sure OKC is going to be favorited to win this series. But it could be close.
Yeah, I think it'll be close too. Like you said, if Indiana is able to close up the paint and force OKC to take threes, that's definitely going to be a key for them to win the game. But on the flip side, the Thunder, if they limit the Pacers from taking their threes and force the Pacers to go drive to the net, that could cause some problems too on the opposite end of the court. So I think it's going to be very closely matched.
Yeah, and for Indiana, they've had a lot of close games. They have only like a 4.1 point differential, where OKC is, when they win big. They have
they did
11-point differential.
They did it all in the regular season too. They won big.
So I think as long as Indiana can also keep the games close and not let the score get away from them, they can clutch it out.
Yep.
And when it comes to clutch time, points against, Indiana is actually towards the bottom there with 113.3 points allowed, and OKC only 106.3 points allowed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be a very exciting final. I hope it goes the distance. What do you think, Shay?
I think SGA is going to win Finals MVP, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win And I think it'll go the distance, but not all 7. I think it'll be in 6.
All right. I'm gonna differ on this one because I personally really like rooting for the underdog. I'm gonna say that the Pacers win this series, and it's gonna be super close. I think they're gonna win it in 7 games, and Tyrese Halliburton, most overrated player in the league, is gonna take home that Finals MVP.
Yeah.
And if that does happen, just build a statue outside of the arena immediately.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't really care who wins, but I am excited for the finals matchup because I think it will be a good matchup, and I'll be happy for either team if they win. Unlike in the NHL, I want the Oilers to win.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think both playoffs so far up to the finals have been a little underwhelming. Like, I thought, especially for the NHL, because I'm just more of a hockey fan, the matchups that we got in the first round, I thought coming out of that first round, especially, I thought we were going to get like game 6 and game 7s, like all throughout. Honestly, it didn't really work that way.
No.
And a lot of the dominant teams showed up early in the playoffs. And especially the Oilers and the Panthers, who are in the final, they kind of steamrolled their way there.
Yeah, exactly.
So a little bit underwhelming for me. I think for me personally, the NBA Finals have been more exciting. That's for sure. I think health has played a very big part.
Yeah.
In teams exiting the playoffs, which
as per usual,
obviously that's something you need. You need a little bit of luck in the playoffs, and you need to stay healthy. So there's that. But I think the NBA playoffs have been really, really good, especially with comebacks. I've seen a lot of comebacks and fourth quarter comebacks and clutch moments. So it's been really exciting, and I cannot wait to watch both finals. It's going to be great.
And the NBA finals start
June 5th.
The day after.
Yeah, so right around the same time.
On ESPN and ABC.
Yeah, and I believe it's also at 8 p.m. Let me just double check. Thursday, June 5th at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah. Also, a lot shorter of a distance between Indiana and Oklahoma City.
That's right. And both relatively smaller market teams.
Yeah.
Which I think is good as well.
Agreed. Also exciting. So there we have it, people. Our finals are set. Will we, next week's episode, have a sweep to talk about?
I hope not.
I hope not, too. Or will we be in the middle of a great series on both ends? We shall see. As we said, the NHL finals start, as of this recording, on the 4th, and the NBA finals on the 5th. NASCAR is this weekend at Michigan. Next week, we'll touch base on baseball, get an update on Major League Baseball and what's going on there.
The Rays have been on fire lately.
Dumpster fire?
No, like on fire.
So stay tuned for all that. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, any color. Everyone that listens to us on any other platform, we still love you.
I have been seeing more plays on Spotify lately.
Just come to YouTube, though.
But
seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
For listening.
Thank you, but just come to YouTube. Again, happy Pride Month. Make sure to check out the link in the description below for Spread Spencer's Sparkle. Man, that is a tongue twister. Yep. Spread Spencer's Sparkle. Love you, Spencer. Miss you, buddy. Yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you for listening, everyone. We will see you next week.